Have you ever stared into a mirror and felt something staring back? Not your reflection, but something cold, something wrong, lurking deep within the glass. Picture this. You're alone in the dark, and the mirror starts to breathe. This isn't just a story, it's based on real events. Tonight, I'm diving into a tale so unsettling, it'll make you rethink every mirror in your house. Stick around until the end, because I'm going to reveal a secret that'll change how you see reality itself. Are you brave enough to look beyond the reflection? Back in 1987, in the quiet town of Willow Creek, Ohio, there stood an old Victorian house. Its peeling paint and creaking floors whispered of forgotten days, but locals gave it a wide berth. Word was the mirrors in that house weren't normal. People swore their reflections moved wrong. Enter Emily Rose, a 29-year-old journalist from Cleveland, chasing a story for her column on paranormal oddities. She didn't buy into ghost stories, thought they were just small-town gossip to lure tourists. But the rumors about this house were too persistent to ignore. Emily rented it for a week, packing only a voice recorder, laptop, and camera. "If there's something here, I'll find it," she wrote in her journal. "If not, I'll have a funny story about people spooked by their own shadows." The house greeted Emily with the smell of damp wood and the groan of old floorboards. It was chilly inside, despite the warm September sun. Dusty furniture sat untouched under sheets, frozen in time. But the mirrors? They were everywhere. In the living room, hallways, bedrooms, even the bathroom had a massive oval mirror with a gilded frame etched with strange, rune-like patterns. "They're like the house's eyes," Emily joked into her recorder. But the humor fell flat. The mirrors felt heavy, like they carried more than just reflections. She started snapping photos for her article, but when she aimed her camera at the big mirror in the living room, the lens wouldn't focus. A shadow flickered across the screen, though the room was empty. "Tech glitch," she muttered, but her pulse quickened. By dusk, Emily had set up camp in the living room, sleeping bag, laptop, and a mug of coffee. She switched on a lantern, wary of the house's ancient wiring, and dug into local records. At the Willow Creek Library, she'd found a 1923 newspaper mentioning the house. It once belonged to Edward Crowe, a reclusive clockmaker who rarely left his home. Neighbors claimed he talked to mirrors. In 1924, Crowe vanished. The house passed through a dozen owners since, none staying long. Emily noted, "Interesting backstory, but not exactly scary. People love their legends." Then she glanced up. The gilded mirror across the room rippled. Not the frame, but the glass itself, like a pond disturbed by a pebble. She stepped closer, lantern in hand. Her reflection looked normal, tired eyes, messy hair. But something felt off. Were her eyes darker in the mirror? She blinked, and it passed. "Just tired," she told herself, draping a sheet over the mirror for good measure. Sleep didn't come easy that night. Emily dreamed of mirrors, endless hallways where each reflection showed someone else, a woman with long black hair and hollow eyes, a man with bleeding hands, a child whispering her name. She woke in a cold sweat to a sound, a faint, unmistakable scrape, like a fingernail dragging across glass. Her lantern swept the room. Everything was still, except the sheet on the living room mirror. It lay crumpled on the floor. She knew she'd secured it tightly. Heart pounding, Emily approached. The mirror showed the room, dark, empty, with only her silhouette. Nothing out of place. Yet the air felt thick, like someone was watching. She recorded, "I don't believe in this crap, but something's off. Tomorrow I'll check the wiring and windows, maybe a draft." Her voice wavered. Morning brought resolve. Emily inspected every room, focusing on the mirrors. In the basement, behind a pile of moldy boxes, she found another one, small, wooden-framed, draped in black cloth. When she pulled the cloth away, the glass was cloudy, like it was coated in frost. But something moved inside, a blur, like a shadow slipping past. She stumbled back, dropping her lantern. "Just light playing tricks," she repeated, but her hands shook as she recovered the mirror. Later, she drove to the library for more on Crowe. The elderly librarian frowned when she mentioned the house. "You're staying there alone?" he asked. "For now. Why?" He paused, then said, "Don't look in the mirrors after midnight." "It's not just a story." Emily rolled her eyes, but his words stuck. She found a 1925 journal from a local priest. Edward Crowe traded his soul for forbidden knowledge. His mirrors are doors, but not to our world. Back at the house, Emily set up an experiment. She aimed her camera at the living room mirror, hit record, and sat nearby with a book. At midnight, she heard it. Not a scrape, but a whisper. Soft, barely there, coming from the mirror. "Emily, look." She froze. The camera kept rolling, but she couldn't turn. The whisper grew louder, words blending into a low hum. Grabbing her lantern, she shone it at the mirror. Her reflection wasn't alone. Behind her stood a figure, hunched, cloaked in shadow, its face hidden. Emily screamed and bolted for the door. It wouldn't budge. She pounded on it, panic rising, until the whispering stopped. The figure was gone. The door swung open and she stumbled onto the porch, gasping. The next morning, Emily reviewed the footage. No figure appeared, but at one point, her reflection smiled. She hadn't smiled. The camera didn't lie, but this was impossible. She called Martha Gray, a local historian who knew the house's secrets. Martha explained that Edward Crowe wasn't just a clockmaker. He dabbled in the occult, believing mirrors could bridge worlds. He performed rituals with blood and symbols to open doors. Something went wrong. After his disappearance, bloodstains were found in the house, but no body. Martha warned, "Those mirrors don't reflect reality. They show what's trying to get out." Emily didn't leave. Curiosity outweighed fear. That night she surrounded herself with candles and drew a salt circle, an old ritual she didn't believe in but figured couldn't hurt. At midnight the mirror spoke again, clearer now. "Want the truth? Look." Holding her recorder, Emily met her reflection's gaze. It changed. Her skin paled, her eyes turned pitch black, her hands in the mirror cracked like porcelain. "Who are you?" she shouted. The mirror answered, "I'm what you brought here." Cold gripped her. She couldn't look away. Another figure appeared, Edward Crowe, his face bloodied, reaching for her. Emily blacked out. When she woke, it was morning. The mirror was cracked but intact. Her recorder lay nearby, capturing a voice, not hers, speaking Latin. Later she translated it. "The door is open. They're coming." She fled Willow Creek that day, but the nightmare followed. A week later, her store-bought mirror at home started clouding over. She threw it out, but the whispers haunted her nights. Returning to Martha, Emily learned the full truth. Crowe hadn't just opened a portal. He'd linked a network of mirrors, each one an anchor for entities from another realm. Anyone who stared too long became a beacon, drawing them closer. Emily smashed every mirror in her apartment. It didn't help. She saw them in windows, water, even strangers' eyes. That's Emily Rose's story. But here's the secret I promised. The mirrors in your home aren't just glass. They remember. They watch. If your reflection ever feels off, it's not a trick. It's a warning. In 1990, Willow Creek razed that house, but the mirrors? They weren't destroyed. They scattered. Antique shops, auctions, maybe someone's home. One might be hanging behind you right now. Don't turn around. If this story sent chills down your spine and you're craving more creepy tales to haunt your nights, hit that subscribe button. Don't miss out on our next batch of eerie stories, perfect for late-night listening. Tap the bell so you never lose us, and drop a comment. Tell us what creeped you out the most. Join our shadowy crew and keep the scares coming.